Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be discussing the action-adventure fantasy film The Demons Strike Back. Spoiler ahead. Watch out and take care. In an Indian city, people are attempting to awaken a colossal monk using incredibly creative methods. This man goes by the name Tang, and he's astonished to find that everyone seems much smaller than him. A tiny person grabs onto the monk's nose and discloses that he's actually Tang's mentor. He presents Tang with a trophy to celebrate his successful accomplishment. The crowd unveils a massive halo, which Tang promptly dons, causing the enchanted object to emit a striking, intense glow. Tang's confidence grows, and he grins with pride, but the halo swiftly malfunctions, leading to a series of explosions that eventually engulf his face. As it turns out, it was all just a dream, and Tang wakes up amid the sounds of nearby thundering clouds. In reality, Tang is part of a circus populated by highly unusual individuals, all striving to collect whatever money they can. After finally attracting his first customers, Tang presents his initial student, Zhu, to the audience. However, the women get scared by Zhu's strange appearance and his hasty marriage proposals, causing them to become frightened. Tang then introduces his second student, Wu Jing, who resembles a bald version of Frankenstein's monster, further traumatizing a baby in the audience. The upset women demand compensation for the emotional distress caused, and soon, a crowd forms, berating Tang for his dreadful performances. The monk assures them that his final act will make amends and introduces the renowned monkey king, Wukong. To their confusion, the people witness Wukong falling from a tree and lying on the ground, motionless like a lifeless frog. Tang pleads with the crowd for another chance, but he coughs violently, causing the audience to dodge him as if avoiding a contagious illness. A compassionate woman with facial hair takes pity on Tang and offers her buns as a donation. However, Tang hesitates to accept her gift, unsure of how long they have been around. Frustrated by the arguing of the crowd, Wukong finally rises and charges toward the audience, causing massive destruction as he zooms through buildings like a speeding bullet. He wrecks everything in his path, summoning a colossal tornado. Seeing the hopelessness of the situation, Tang flees hastily before the enraged people hold him accountable for the havoc. After escaping the circus, Tang punishes the monkey demon severely, relentlessly whipping Wukong. The other brothers watch in terror as Wukong screams in agony from the wounds. As it turns out, Tang had previously defeated the monkey demon by employing the Buddhist palm technique, crushing him under rocks and causing recurring nightmares. The situation worsens as Tang torments Wukong every night, pretending the monkey is the woman he loves, making the demon's existence utterly miserable. The following morning, Tang awakens and decides to fetch water for his disciples. He ventures deeper into the woods and stumbles upon a large house within the forest. He knocks on the door, seeking food, and to his surprise, a beautiful woman answers and invites him inside to dine. Tang readily accepts the gracious offer, especially when he sees more women arriving and attempting to entice him with their stunning legs. As they enter the mansion, Zhu becomes entranced by the host's beauty. Tang expresses gratitude for the delicious meal, but the woman insists that the men stay, offering to take care of them in various ways. Unbeknownst to her, Wukong has already seen through the facade and realized that the attractive women are actually spider demons, plotting to devour his master. Wukong confronts the woman, demanding that she reveal her true form. This angers Tang, who rebukes his disciples for their lack of manners and pushes them all out. He scolds them for disrespecting the people who have treated them kindly. As the girls transform into their true spider forms, they encircle the monk, leaving him with no escape. In desperation, he pleads for Wukong to return and save him from this perilous situation. Fortunately, the monkey leaps to the rescue, grabbing hold of the monk and preventing his imminent consumption. Meanwhile, Wu Jing readies his weapon and takes on one of the foes single-handedly. One of the spiders swiftly lunges at the monk, pinning him against the wall, and even manages to spit venom into his mouth, poisoning him. Just as the situation seems dire, Wu Jing intervenes at the last moment, slaying the enemy and narrowly avoiding tragedy. Simultaneously, the remaining monsters attempt to ensnare the monk in their webs, but Wukong seizes his master and tears through the strands, sending the spiders hurtling into the air as they crash down from the ceiling. The monkey demon swiftly catches Tang as they descend, noticing tiny spiders raining down from the sky and scurrying along the ground. Suddenly, the floor gives way, and they plummet into the building's basement, discovering themselves in what appears to be an immense spider's nest. Tang explores the surroundings and stumbles upon a colossal creature formed from countless tiny insects. This creature unveils itself as the spider demon's ultimate form. Wukong charges forward, swiftly delivering a powerful punch that pierces through the enemy. He grabs the creature's head and defeats the demon within moments. Tang urges Wukong not to kill the creature, expressing a desire to transform the monster into something positive. However, Wukong disregards Tang's wishes, ruthlessly obliterating the demon's head and pummeling the spider relentlessly, reminiscent of the Hulk's strength. Eventually, the demon is reduced to nothing more than dust. Tang becomes furious with his disciple for callously taking lives, but the monkey demon remains unrepentant, feeling no guilt for his actions. They press forward on their journey, leaving the treacherous forest behind. Wu Jing, who has reverted to his demon form due to the spider's poison, is being pulled along by Ju. Eventually, the group reaches a desert and approaches a city adorned in decorations reminiscent of the Joker's version of Disneyland. Tang is fascinated by the city's unique culture, while the residents gaze at them in astonishment, never having encountered a sea creature resembling Garfield before. Their progress is halted by a group of people carrying flags, and the city's minister, Gong, emerges from a cloud of white smoke to extend a welcome to the visitors. Guided to the king's palace, they enter to find a crowd of people dancing energetically, trying their best to amuse their ruler, who behaves like an oversized infant. The king requests Tang to showcase his magical abilities for entertainment, yet the monk lacks any show-worthy talents and promptly declines. The king's anger flares, and he orders Tang's execution. Faced with no alternative, Tang reluctantly agrees to perform, compelled by the threat to his life. Entering the backstage area, Wukong proposes using the obedience talisman to manipulate Tang's actions during the performance. This plan worries Tang, knowing it could lead to either great success or turn him into a comedic spectacle like Magic Mike, potentially causing the women in the audience to faint. Despite Tang's concerns, the monkey demon pays no heed and attaches the talisman to Tang's back, forcefully propelling him onto the stage. The crowd is initially captivated by Tang's seemingly superhuman feats as he leaps around the stage. However, their amazement turns to shock as Wukong begins dancing absurdly, and Tang is compelled to mimic every outlandish move, leaving the audience dumbfounded. Chaos ensues when Wukong playfully slaps Ju on the head, causing Tang to inadvertently strike the king across the face. The king breaks into tears before his female attendants, while Tang offers profuse apologies for the unintended mishap. Suddenly, Wukong charges toward the king with blinding speed, relentlessly striking the man across the face. The king expels fire from his mouth due to the impact and hurls the monkey across the room. Wukong, undeterred, defends against the flames and repels the attack. In a surprising twist, it becomes apparent that the king is none other than the Red Demon, Nezha, likely the mastermind behind the turmoil in the kingdom. Nezha launches punches at Wukong akin to elastic bands, but the monkey nimbly deflects the blows, seizing the opportunity to grapple the enemy and deliver a barrage of strikes to Nezha's head. The Red Demon becomes enraged, summoning magical weapons and emitting an overwhelming aura that sends bystanders tumbling away, including the Fish Demon. With a powerful display, Nezha hurls rotating blades at Wukong, driving him toward the walls and attempting to tear the monkey apart. Knocked back from the palace, Wukong swiftly counters by kicking the wheels, sending them hurtling toward Nezha. The Red Demon soars into the sky, brandishing his massive blades and gathering an immense amount of energy in his belly. This energy erupts as a blazing tornado hurtling toward Wukong. Emerging from the inferno, a horde of demons charges at Wukong. Desperately, Wukong summons a colossal shield to fend off the onslaught, but the relentless demons repeatedly crash into it. Despite his efforts, Wukong finds himself losing the power struggle, ultimately being propelled back into the palace and crashing onto the ground. Mocking his opponent, Nezha taunts Wukong as a stinking monkey, prompting a furious roar from the monkey demon. With a determined resolve, Wukong reveals flags hidden behind his back and uses their power to lift the entire palace into the air. Emerging from the palace with his magical staff in hand, Wukong charges at Nezha with incredible speed. Meanwhile, Nezha hurls more fire at Wukong. With skillful manipulation of his flags, Wukong deflects the flames, blowing the enemies away and eventually overpowering the Red Demon. Harnessing flames in his eyes, Wukong releases them with formidable force, propelling Nezha backward and causing him to crash to the ground. Capitalizing on the opportunity, Wu Jing freezes the foe using his breath, sending Nezha sliding back toward the palace and landing beneath the Monkey King. Seizing the moment, Tang employs his sealing technique to capture the demon, transforming Nezha into a doll. Tang presents the doll to the minister, hopeful that she can eventually steer the malevolent entity toward a more virtuous path. In a victorious turn of events, the group locates the true king in the palace's basement, finally restoring him to his rightful place in the kingdom. To express his gratitude for saving his life, the king offers Tang a choice of one of his concubines as a gift. However, upon closer inspection, Tang notices the women's peculiar and unsettling appearances, prompting him to understand the underlying reason for the king's generosity. Fortunately, a beautiful girl stands out from the nightmarish crowd, and the king commands her to dance to honor the hero's achievements. As she gracefully moves like a swan, the other women watch enviously, yet it is the girl's performance that captivates Tang's attention. Watching her dance triggers memories of a past love, someone who had also danced for him under the moonlight. Almost instantly, Tang falls in love anew, and he decides to bring the girl, named Bei, along on his journey to India. Tang and Bei grow close as they travel together, their love for each other consuming their attention and overshadowing everything else. However, Wukong becomes wary of Bei, suspecting that she might be a disguised demon with intentions to harm his master. Wukong attempts to use the magical mirror on Bei, hoping to unveil her true form, but it only reflects an image of the beautiful girl. Frustrated, he resorts to cutting Bei's wrist to get a blood sample from the mirror, aiming to confirm his suspicions. However, the result contradicts his theory. Wukong's actions inadvertently strengthen Tang's connection to Bei. Despite this, Wukong insists on visiting Bei's family, convinced that demons cannot have human parents. Surprisingly, they arrive in Bei's village, populated by ordinary people, further puzzling Wukong. Refusing to accept this reality, Wukong launches an attack, assaulting the villagers and slamming Bei's family into walls, dismissing them as illusions. Amid the chaos, he shifts blame onto Bei, prompting Tang to intervene and attempt to restrain his unruly disciple. In this tense moment, Tang accuses the demon of having caused the death of the woman from his memory, revealing a deep-seated conflict between the two that remains unresolved. The monkey abruptly turns away from his master, dashing out of the building and transforming into his demon form. In a frenzy, he proceeds to slaughter everyone in his path, aiming to prove his assertion that they are mere illusions. Tang races after Wukong in an attempt to quell the chaos, only to witness the horrifying aftermath wrought by the demon's rampage. Wukong's laughter highlights the monk's perceived delusion, and he advances toward Tang, intent on killing Bei to force Tang to confront what he believes to be the truth. Refusing to let more innocent lives be taken, Tang engages in combat, deploying his Buddha palm technique. However, Wukong effortlessly overpowers him, striking Tang with his weapon. As Wukong closes in on delivering a potentially lethal blow, Bei pleads with the monkey to spare Tang's life. She admits to being a demon as suspected, revealing that the entire town is a product of her magic. However, Bei's confession fails to quell Wukong's anger. Instead, he transforms into a colossal, rock-covered version of King Kong, towering over the buildings. With a ferocious grip, he seizes Tang and devours him, while Bei desperately tries to intervene. The massive demon bellows and leaps toward a nearby mountain, scaling its peak before accidentally releasing Bei. Amidst the chaos, a booming voice emerges from the distance, Minister Gong, who floats toward the mountaintop alongside the red demon Nezha. Revelations unfold. Minister Gong, not Bei, emerges as the true mastermind behind the kingdom's turmoil. She had orchestrated Bei's involvement to manipulate Wukong against Tang, all as part of her scheme to exact vengeance on the people for undermining her rule. Unbeknownst to all, Wukong had never truly consumed his master. Tang remains unharmed, his survival a hidden truth waiting to be unveiled. From the outset, they had been aware of Bei's true nature and played along, intending to uncover the real instigator behind the city's chaos. Recognizing her failure, Minister Gong orders the red demon to initiate an attack. Wu Jing swiftly freezes the enemy using his magic, enabling Wukong to shatter the creature to pieces with a furious roar. Undeterred, Gong channels her powers, summoning a shockwave that propels everyone aside, except for Wukong, who withstands the immense energy and uses his tail to shield his master. Wukong launches a relentless assault, crashing into the mountain where Gong stands. Despite her evasive maneuvers, she escapes onto her flying cloud. Wukong swiftly pursues, breaking through a mountain barrier in his path. However, he discovers Gong has conjured a colossal Buddha alongside a raging tsunami, poised for an epic confrontation. Brandishing his magical staff, Wukong readies himself to repel the oncoming waves. Gong, utilizing the giant Buddha statue's massive palms, directs the water towards Wukong. In a surprising turn, Wukong manages to overpower the assault, pushing back the waves and creating an opportunity to ascend his flying nimbus in an attempt to approach the colossal Buddha. Yet, his adversary's swiftness proves deceptive. The enemy strikes with rapid palm attacks, forcing Wukong into a frantic retreat as he evades the barrage. Before long, more statues emerge from the ocean, cornering Wukong between adversaries, each emanating distinct elemental power from their halos. Coordinated assaults converge on Wukong from all angles, ensnaring the stone monkey within the elemental waves. He struggles against the intense energies, racked with pain. Just as the enemy's victory seems imminent, a colossal arm erupts from the water, seizing hold of the statues. The grip releases Wukong from his dire predicament, demolishing the deceitful Buddhas in the process. With resolute determination, Tang employs the Buddha palm technique, defeating Gong as she falls into Wukong's grasp. A grand aura materializes, revealing the true Buddha, who congratulates the team for capturing one of his rogue disciples, a golden phoenix that had escaped from the heavens, wreaking havoc upon humanity. Upon their return to the mountains, Bei's grievous injuries from the battle become apparent. Tang offers solace, guiding her towards a peaceful transcendence into the next life. In her final moments, Bei seeks assurance of Tang's love. He confesses that his heart remains committed to another, a woman who has long passed away. Touched by Tang's response, Bei passes away, tears in her eyes, vanishing into the other world as her form turns to dust. Sometime later, the group resumes their journey to India, striving to recover the sacred scriptures. Throughout the quest, Tang continues to see his true love in his visions, an enduring presence always at his side. Thank you for watching our recap. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and feel free to explore our other recaps.